You can't answer that. That is very troubling, I must say. 850 people accused of fraud, suddenly reinstated all at once.
The tension was unmistakable when Robert F. Kennedy Jr., better known as RFK Jr., clashed with Congresswoman Alma Adams during a heated exchange over proposed cuts. And at the center of it all was a sharp, pointed line that's now grabbing headlines. You might start by telling them the truth. Now, let's dive into the next one. Time to tackle the threat head-on. Let's see how it unfolds.
Mr. Secretary, since waste, fraud, and abuse has been something of a watchword in this administration, I'm sure that you're familiar with the December 3rd Government Accountability Office response to a request by Chairman Smith, which reported significant agent and broker fraud with the Affordable Care Act, including brokers signing up people who didn't even know they were signed up. As you're aware, last May, under your authority, CMS fully reinstated all 850 brokers and agents who had been suspended back in 2024 because of suspected ACA fraud. Can you guarantee to our committee today that every one of those suspected brokers and agents was thoroughly investigated and found to be innocent of any fraud, any wrongdoing, or criminal activity?
I can tell you.
Can you, sir? Yes or no? You can't answer that. That is very troubling, I must say. 850 people accused of fraud, suddenly reinstated all at once. Do you know whether any of these suspected fraudsters who were reinstated so swiftly were subject to any additional oversight under your authority? Have there been guardrails that have been put in place to ensure those 850 agents don't continue to commit fraud?
Congressman, I'm a lifelong Democrat, so I was shocked.
I don't care your party affiliation. We're all against fraud.
I was shocked when I came into this agency.
Were you shocked to see that 850 people who were suspended for fraud had been reinstated all at once?
I was shocked to learn that President Biden had directed my agency to stop all program integrity activities and focus on enrollment.
Taking back my time, sir.
And that's what caused the problem that you're talking about.
President Biden's administration was the one that suspended 850 suspected fraudsters. Your administration was the one that let them all go back to work. Have any of them
President Biden fired everybody in my agency except for 6 people who were involved in program integrity.
The entire department under your leadership, you have suspended the very people at CMS who are responsible for overseeing any fraud in the program.
But we've done more to combat fraud than any administration.
If you want to filibuster, go to the Senate. But would you please try to answer my question, sir? Have there been any new complaints against these 850 brokers?
As I said, I'm happy to talk to get my staff to contact.
I'm not asking if you're happy to talk. I just want to know the answer to my question. Have there been any new complaints of fraud against these people?
I don't know why those people were reinstated. For as far as I'm concerned, it may be because of a lawsuit. I have to check on that.
Well, I wish
I
you would.
can guarantee you there is no administration.
Reclaiming my time, sir, as it runs out. It is very troubling that the only fraud that Chairman Smith referred to as a smoking gun to deny affordable health care credits, put the blame on the mother that was trying to protect the sick child, that nothing was done about that, and the Secretary still doesn't know much of anything about it. As far as fraud, Paul Wazak is one who had $10 million of wages that he kept, some of to buy a $2 million yacht. His mother contributed to the Trump campaign, and he no longer has to pay $4.4 million or stay in prison. Mr. Secretary, I want to know what role you play in the soft-on-crime approach to healthcare fraudsters. Have you recommended that any of these healthcare fraudsters should get pardons or commutations, or did the campaign contributions speak for themselves?
I don't think there's anybody in this country. I don't think there's anybody in this country who believes that this administration is soft on fraud. We're the first administration.
It's just the fraudsters who have the money in the cottage industry to get themselves pardoned and not even have to restitute what they've taken from those they've defrauded. It's really a disgrace. I'm surprised you would defend it.
It's not a credible story.
It's a fact, sir. It's not a story. It's a fact.
Mr. Kelly,
More fraudsters pardoned by
time
any
has
president in
expired.
American history.
your time has expired,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Doggett.
That moment didn't just land as a soundbite. It revealed a deeper divide over transparency, responsibility, and the real-world consequences of policy decisions. The exchange unfolded as Adams pressed RFK Jr. on the impact of cuts that critics argue could hurt vulnerable communities the most. She was focused, direct, and clearly frustrated, raising concerns that many Americans share. Who bears the cost when budgets are slashed? And are leaders being honest about those consequences? But RFK Jr. didn't back down. Instead, he flipped the argument, suggesting that the narrative being presented, particularly by lawmakers like Adams, wasn't fully truthful. His response wasn't just defensive, it was confrontational. By saying, "You might start by telling them the truth," he essentially accused his critics of misleading the public. Now, that's a serious charge in any political setting. What makes this moment stand out is how it reflects the broader climate in Washington right now. Trust is low, political rhetoric is high, and debates over spending, especially cuts, are becoming increasingly personal. From RFK Jr.'s perspective, this could be about reframing the conversation. Supporters might argue that he's challenging what he sees as political exaggeration, pushing back against claims that cuts automatically mean harm without context. In that view, his comment is less about disrespect and more about demanding what he considers honesty in how policies are described. But from Adams' side, and many watching, it comes across very differently. It can feel dismissive, even undermining. When lawmakers raise concerns about real people being affected, families, workers, communities, being told they're not telling the truth can escalate tensions quickly. And that's exactly what happened here. This wasn't just a disagreement over numbers on a page. It was a clash of narratives. One side arguing that cuts are being misrepresented, the other insisting the risks are very real and deserve serious attention. Moments like this matter because they shape public perception. A single line, especially one as blunt as RFK Jr.'s, can overshadow the details of the policy itself. Instead of focusing on what the cuts actually do, the conversation shifts to tone, intent, and credibility. And in today's media environment, that shift happens fast. Clips go viral, headlines get sharper, and suddenly, a complex policy debate becomes a question of who's telling the truth and who isn't. For viewers and voters, the challenge is cutting through that noise. What are the actual impacts of these cuts? Who benefits? Who loses? And are leaders being clear about those trade-offs? Because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. This exchange between RFK Jr. and Alma Adams is a snapshot of a larger issue, the struggle to balance political messaging with factual clarity. It's about accountability, not just in policy decisions, but in how those decisions are communicated to the public. And if there's one takeaway from this moment, it's this. In a debate where so much is at stake, the demand for truth, however each side defines it, is only getting louder. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next content.